Good morning, YouTube. This is Brian on Is It Overland? First thing I want to say is thank you to all the people I've subscribed and watched the videos so far. Me and my cousin, we really started this project just to show our family and friends what it takes to do this trip we're planning. Promise you, we're going to tell you soon. Uh, and our journey along the way, and all the other people that have watched the videos, we sure do appreciate it. But on this video, we are starting the bed restoration. So I've already done a little bit of work. You'll see that later in the video. I had to get it done because it takes a little time to cure. I'll show you that later. But we're going to paint strip the outside, get some of the surface rust off, and then the first thing we're going to do actually is we're going to get underneath the bed. We're going to get all the grime and junk and grease off of that. We're going to bed line the bottom.
You try to burn me down, but my spirit just refined. Like a phoenix from the ash, find my strength from within. I am stronger than before.
Right here, I have my cutoff wheel on my angle grinder. I'm popping the spot welds that they have, and I'm going to separate the front of the bed from the bottom of the bed so I can put silicone adhesive in there to seal it up nice and good so there's no water or dirt getting in the bed of the trailer. And then right here, I'm using my drill because I'm going to rivet the metal back together instead of using my welder. A lot easier. And then here I'm cleaning the dirt and debris up with my brush and my leaf blower so it's nice and clean for when I put the silicone on here. And then right here, you'll see me using my little pop rivet gun I got. Very cheap, but it did the job just fine. So as the rivets get put on there, it's actually pulling those two pieces of metal together and keeping constant pressure on them. Instead of a weld where you'd have to just put a weld down. It would hold it together, but it wouldn't keep constant pressure. I know the last video we were putting the frame together. Well, obviously you can tell the bumper is missing. Well, good news for y'all is over the last few days I've been reconditioning the bumper off camera because it was kind of boring and a lot of wire wheeling and welding, and y'all already seen enough of that. So we'll just go with the finished product. We'll install it right now and then we'll get working on the bed. I know I said I was gonna work on the bed earlier, but I forgot. We reconditioned this. Got that crack filled. I got it about 90-95% filled in with weld, and then I put it in the same sealer I put on the bed, which you'll see later. I put that in the rest of the groove so it keeps the water and stuff getting in there. But I painted it up, looks good. Got the new hardware in there, looks good. So right here we have the pressure washer out. We're getting it removed of all the debris and dust and grime and stuff, and we're going to put degreaser on it, rust remover, to get it prepped for the bed liner for the bottom of the bed. Right here you'll see me get my leaf blower out to get all the standing water out of the nooks and crannies. And then right after this, I'll get my blowtorch out. I found when you can use a blowtorch, it's good because not only does it dry the metal, it kind of heats it up, gets the condensation out, and it gets any grease and oils out of the metal. Alright, now that we got the under the side of the bed dried and heated up, now we got my bed liner out. Just put a nice good thick coat on there. It's not going to be seen, so it doesn't have to look pretty, but I want it to last a long time, so I'll put a nice thick coat. Sorry I couldn't get y'all good views because I had paint all over my hand. I didn't want to move the camera. But I got the bottom of it bed lined and everything, so there might be a couple spots I missed, but better than what it was. All right, so now we're gonna. All right, we finally got the bed on the sawhorses, so we're no longer relying on the hoist. So I'm going to get some paint stripper. Like I said a minute ago, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to just paste it on here and let it sit for probably a couple of hours. I was planning on getting the paint stripper rinsed off and primered today. That still might be an option, but I'm not rushing it, so I got to get a little bit of this mud off. I dropped it on the ground a minute ago, so get this mud off, which that's not a big deal. That's paint strip will eat through that too. But we'll get that. I'm not gonna worry about inside there because those aren't gonna be seen, so I'm not gonna waste any paint stripper on that part. But we'll get this paint strip down, and heck, by the time I get all the way around this thing, it might not be where I have to wait too long. So we'll see, but we'll get it started. Got my bucket with all my paint strip in there. Got a big old brush this time, so I have to use a paper towel like I've been using. Well, let's kind of paint this on here. I don't know if y'all could tell on the time lapse, as I was putting this on, I said it'd probably take a couple hours. Well, I put the first coat on, and as I was walking around, it already started to break this paint down, which is a good thing. That means when I get the turbo nozzle will knock all that off. The front's having a little hard time. Maybe it's because it was out, not in the sun as long or whatever, so it's not as, the paint's a little tougher. But on the sides, it's already starting to break this down. I might wait like 20-30 minutes and we'll come back out here in a little bit and we'll turbo wash this off. So we'll go take a break and we'll be right back. We got the bed stripped of most of its paint. This isn't a show trailer, so this is an off-road trailer. So we're just gonna use some rattle can automotive primer, and we'll get it primered up and let it cure for a few days, and then we'll put the actual paint coat on there, let that dry for a couple days, and then we'll put the clear coat on there. We got the primer put on. I put one thick coat, one decent thickly coat, and then I just kind of dusted the third coat. So we're gonna call it a day for the day. We're gonna let this sit in the sun for the next couple hours, and a couple of days from now I'll come back out here, and I want this to be nice and dry and hard. So when I put I might run a little bit of sandpaper over it, just do a little minor wet sanding, just to kind of knock down the high spots. But if not, I'll start putting the Toyota Silver on there. All right, so we're gonna make 8 of these. They're just little rubber squares with some holes drilled into them. That's what came out from between the frame and the bed for, I guess, 2 reasons. One, so support some absorption of shock and stuff while it's bouncing, and then also helps keep the bed from rusting to the frame in future things. So I have some of this old rubber mat. It's a little thicker, which is better, but it's also more durable. So I'm gonna cut this up into some pieces, and then we'll drill some holes in it. I'm gonna drill them a little bit smaller than the bolts that go in there. So when I put the bolts through the bed, I can put these rubber things, I can screw these rubber things onto the bolts on all 8 of them. And that'll help keep the bolts in place for 1, and for 2, it'll help hold these in. So as I put the bed on the frame, they'll be there, and I don't have to match all 8 of them up at the same time. So. Been a few days. Got this primered up in the last scene that you saw. I've been letting it sit for a couple days in the sun, letting it get kind of hard, and then got my wet sanding stuff. I got water, flat block, free sand, gloves, and mask. Mask I'll use later for spray painting. But we're gonna get this primer wet sanded down, and we'll clean it up, and then we'll start the painting process as it gets a little warmer today. It's a little chilly this morning, so fair to be perfect to do the wet sanding now. But we're gonna get the wet sanding now, and so we got it wet sanded down. It's nice and smooth. Knocked off some of these high spots. You'll see them in the video when I start painting. Over here, this is the rough side. It's all sanded down now. Got this little bullet hole. Nice, and I got that nice and smooth for aesthetics. All right, well, we got this Toyota silver perfect match color. About to throw some paint down on the side of the bed. This isn't going to be a perfect paint job, just good enough. just got finished putting 2 coats and a light dusting on as a 3rd coat on here. It's actually fairly dry. It's not even tacky really. So next step is I'm going to go ahead and lift it up, and then we'll roll the frame underneath there, made it up, and we'll bolt it down, get all the pads out, sawhorses out. Obviously when we lift it up we'll do all that. I'm gonna pull it out into the middle of the yard to get some sun to help cure it a little quicker, and then we'll slide it back over here. But yeah, it's coming right along. That silver color match paint, for spray paint and me not having a paint booth, and I'm not a professional painter, turned out very well, and it will definitely do the job. Like I said, this is not professional work. It's just having fun and getting it looking good. I'll feel a lot better about it because I know I did it myself. So let's go and lift this up, and we'll get the frame underneath it. Hopefully this doesn't take too long, and we'll mate these 2 back together for the first time in like a month. All right, we got the bed, made it back onto the frame. Looks really good. Obviously I do not have the firmly attached yet, but I'm about to get underneath there and do that here in just 1 second. Just give me a little walk around. Looks really good. Oh yeah, that's gonna look real good. And once I get the fuel tank back in there, and once I get it done in the stock form, then we'll start adding the accessories that we have planned. All right, we got the tailgate on. Everything's bolted down. All we're waiting on now to officially finish it up is taillights, side marker lights, reflectors, and I gotta put the fuel tank on. Then after that, it'll be back in its stock form. And then everything else on that is accessories and upgrades. Well, I just finished up for the day, expecting not to do any more work, and as I was sitting there on the couch watching some TV, FedEx showed up with the new taillights, so we will throw those in real quick, and then maybe by the time I'm done with that, the reflectors that go on the other side of the tailgate will show up as well. So I do have to take one of these apart real quick, the nuts and bolts. The nuts fell off, so I gotta take that backing off to they came out. So gotta take this apart real quick, which isn't a big deal. So from the last time you saw me putting the taillights on, very quick job. The headlights are a little cheap, so it took me a second to get them fitted up just right. It's been a couple days, but I did a couple other things off camera. We got the side marker lights on. I had to do a little bit of fabrication on there. They weren't exactly the right size, no big deal. Got the tail lights on, got the reflectors on. I used one of the holes that were already there. I just drilled another hole, and then so we got the tailgate on, obviously, and then we got the other side on. But everything's looking good. I know it's not the best paint job, but for a rattle can on a 50-year-old bed. Can't complain. It looks pretty good. In a few days, I'll put the clear coat on there. I'm gonna let this cure for a few more days in the nice warm sun. But everything's turning out good. On the next video, for the next sequence of things we're gonna do, we're gonna put the fuel tank back in. Got the wiring harness, the 7-way wiring harness for the lights and trailer brakes ordered in. That should be coming in anytime soon. We're gonna try to run it through the frame so when we go off-roading it doesn't damage it, and also it spits it out right here at the tongue. Then I've got license plate lights to put on there, and then we will put I'm gonna put a plywood floor with some waterproof carpet, like outdoor boat carpet on here. That'll be on there, so when we throw stuff back here, it's not just hitting the straight metal. It'll hit a carpeted piece of plywood, and also we can use the plywood to put anchor bolts down, so we can strap stuff down in here without having to use these. These would only be for like a cover as we're driving on the road to keep stuff from falling out. But other than that, the off-road trailer build is coming right along. Got the bed painted up, looking good. But for this episode, we're gonna call it a wrap on this episode. Thanks for watching Is It Overland, and we'll see you next time.